Have you ever considered that even someone closest to you could be lying, not to hurt you, but to simply avoid causing pain? Even the most sincere friends can sometimes hide the truth. We are used to trusting, so small lies often go completely unnoticed. From early childhood, our brains are hardwired to trust the people around us. That's why lies from loved ones hurt more and are rarely noticed. Deception is often hidden not in words, but in a brief change of facial expression or a pause. These cues often escape both listeners and the speaker. In an effort to keep peace in relationships, we tend to overlook even obvious signs of deception, just to feel safe and comfortable. Most people lie at least once or twice a day, at work, at home, or with strangers, and rarely reflect on their motives or consequences. Remember a moment you told a harmless lie out of politeness? Those tiny untruths quietly become part of the daily routine. Even adults find it difficult to detect lies. Research shows people detect truth or lies only a tiny bit better than chance. If you want to become a human lie detector, focus on facial expressions first. Small, emotional changes often reveal much more than words themselves. Sometimes people avoid eye contact, or, on the contrary, stare intensely. A sudden change in this habit points to inner tension and uncertainty. Some people blink quickly, others freeze and stop blinking. Our brain automatically flags these oddities, even if we don't consciously notice them. Many liars become extra animated, their hands moving more as they try to invent extra details to fill the anxious silence. Overly detailed explanations or unnecessary information that doesn't answer the question often signal an attempt to hide something important. Liars often repeat your question before giving their answer, buying a tiny bit more time to prepare a believable but false response. Notice if someone's voice changes in pitch or a new, unfamiliar intonation appears. Sometimes that tells more about sincerity than any actual sentence. Liars might subconsciously touch their lips, cheek, or ear. These nervous gestures are signs of internal struggle and the attempt to control themselves. If someone becomes defensive or irritable for no clear reason, be cautious. Their mind may be trying to protect a lie by lashing out. When a person abruptly stops mid-sentence, looks away, or makes an unexpected pause, it usually means they've run out of real arguments. True emotions always manifest differently in both content and timing than made-up ones. Genuine joy or fear shows up instantly. Fake ones are always a bit late. Instead of giving a straight answer, a liar may go off on a tangent or tell a story that doesn't directly address the question, hiding the truth safely. If someone avoids talking about themselves or quickly changes the conversation to others, it's often a sign they're unsure about their own story. A truly honest story lives together with emotions. The voice cracks, eyes glimmer, or a hand clenches. You must notice these little details in dialogue. Stability of speech is the main marker of honesty. If details change with each retelling, the truth is mostly in doubt in their story. An innocent person answers quickly and without extra detail. A liar hesitates, mixes up information, stumbles, or starts making excuses for themselves. The tiniest inconsistency in chronology or details is a good reason to ask again. Repeating the question often exposes pre-planned lies. Don't forget about microexpressions. A split second of anger or fear can say much more than any lengthy justification. In relationships, trust is built for years, but can collapse over a single, small, seemingly harmless lie. If something seems off, it's almost always your intuition noticing conflict between the words and someone's body language or nonverbal cues. Lies aren't always harmful. Sometimes they save relationships or self-esteem, but frequent lying undermines bonds, even in the strongest partnerships. Think about a time when you withheld something important from a loved one, simply out of fear of hurting them or the consequences. Suspicion isn't healthy on its own, but attention to details helps avoid becoming a victim of manipulative or psychological games. If someone is constantly justifying themselves, even without being accused, it's likely a sign of guilt or hidden information beneath the surface. Persistent avoidance of certain topics is a warning sign. The person has something to hide, or they're scared to be truly open. Children often lie without malice. It's a form of creative imagination or fantasy, wanting to appear better in their own eyes. As people get older, lies become social. Teens keep secrets for independence, adults for reputation, love, or material gain. The higher someone's intelligence, the more sophisticated their lies. Paradoxically, very smart people might deceive themselves before anyone else. Liars usually have sweaty palms or trembling voices, even if outside they seem calm. Look for these small behavioral cues. Most people who lie try to change the subject as fast as possible. They don't want to stay in the spotlight for longer than necessary. If you feel tension in their answer, gently ask for more details to observe how your conversational partner reacts to further questioning. Genuine truth withstands any follow-up questions. A lie usually falls apart as soon as you dig into the specifics a little deeper. Most liars underestimate your attention and may accidentally contradict themselves in small details if you just listen closely. Chronic liars sometimes believe their own stories so deeply that the boundary between truth and fiction gets completely blurred. Open-ended questions encourage honesty, while closed ones force a liar to invent new details right on the spot. Sometimes silence after a question is more powerful than an answer. People often show an indecisive gesture or glance in these moments. If someone suddenly clams up or looks away, it's likely they find it psychologically difficult to maintain real contact any longer. People sometimes lie to avoid conflict, but those little deceptions stack up, creating anxiety and emotional distance over time. If your conversational partner suddenly starts asking counter questions instead of answering, likely they are avoiding an uncomfortable truth. Long pauses, jumping from topic to topic, abrupt tiredness or irritation, all of these are further evidence something dishonest may be happening. Liars tend to use more negative phrasing. They say, "I didn't do it," instead of "I did," subconsciously separating themselves from responsibility. Attention to the way someone reacts to details is your biggest asset in spotting a lie. The smallest nonverbal cues are rarely false. Sometimes the truth spills out accidentally during group conversations. Comparing versions from different people helps uncover hidden facts without conflict. The best way to spot a lie is with calm, friendly questions and a generally understanding attitude, making people open up more naturally. The root of a lie is often deeper than you expect. The fear of being misunderstood or rejected is more common than simple ill will. Reserved people might lie because they're afraid of arguments or just don't know how to speak about their own feelings or anxieties. Imagine a situation where honesty solved the problem much faster than any lie. This is how true trust between people develops over time. If someone's answer lacks emotion, that dryness could indicate they're hiding their real feelings and don't want to get involved in conversation. Many don't notice how their tone of voice betrays uncertainty, especially when telling the same story repeatedly to different listeners. Sometimes silent agreement is worse than a sincere no. Learn to be gentle but direct, even in difficult conversations with important people. Train your observation. Real sincerity is built from many small nuances, even if all the words on paper seem logical and consistent. If a person tells you something contradictory and doesn't respond to their own mistakes, it's likely they've prepared a fake version in advance. Importantly, we all lie sometimes to feel safe or avoid hurting others, but it's crucial to recognize and stop before it becomes habit. In the end, being able to spot lies isn't about paranoia, but thoughtful communication and taking real care of yourself and those around you.